Off my screen there. There we go.
Hey, everybody. We're two metalheads.
What's going on, kiddos?
So,
Happy 4th of July.
yeah.
Even though you're
It's
probably seeing this in September.
Maybe put it out sooner since it's topical.
We should put this one out a little sooner, being that the movie just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a new flick on Netflix, and it's called Hate to Love Nickelback. And I figured that this would be a very divisive and polarizing topic for everybody that watches. So I watched it because I kind of fucking like these guys.
But do you think that most people watching it, besides me, who you asked me to watch, probably like Nickelback?
That's a very good question because
I
I
know if you
think
didn't ask me to watch it, probably wouldn't have bothered.
yeah, probably not. I've
Right.
I've never heard you shit on them, but I've also never heard you say anything positive about them.
Well, to be honest, that whole genre of music I don't care about.
Yeah, I kind of figured it's not really your thing,
No.
and even genre-wise, it's kind of hard to classify them a little bit because they're grungy.
I would say alternative.
Fair. I would call them hard rock.
That's also probably fair.
Because they're kind of they have a
They,
lot of songs that I didn't forward to you that are kind of southern rock. They got a little bit of like ZZ Toppy, Skinner, almost Corrosion of Conformity, and I know people are gonna fucking stomp on my balls for saying you compared them to Corrosion of. Just listen. When COC has their moments when they get kind of country in there, I'm not talking about the 86 animosity when they were a hardcore band. When Pepper was the singer, they had their moments like America's Volume Dealer, where they really sounded like a Leonard Skinner almost tribute band. That kind of fucking shit going on. They've got a little bit of like Black Album and Load era Metallica in there. And I mean, even the singer, you can see she's trying to look like Load era James Hetfield, with the greased back hair and the mustache and goatee, plain black shirt, plain black jeans. He's trying to pull that look. You can see it.
Load.
It's pretty goddamn obvious. Exactly, Load. I fucking still love that album. I don't care. I fucking love Load, dude.
Yeah, you
Fantastic album. I sure do. I sure do. I sure do. Ah, 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 ah. Give me Load. So, there's like this phenomenon with them where they're like one of the most hated fucking bands in the world. I personally don't think they deserve all the fucking hate that they get because I think that they write pretty goddamn cool songs. Some of their stuff is a little
Wussy?
There's moments where I'm like, oh boy, the lyrics in that should have been a little better thought out. Some songs are just kind of like there and just hang in the air like a fucking bad fart. But then I got moments where I'm like, fuck, man, I really kind of dig what these dudes are doing. I think it's a lot of like echo chambering, where like one dude is like, this band is fucking garbage. Yeah, that band's garbage. Yeah, that band's garbage. Yeah, that band's garbage. I think there's a lot of that. And I think that they're easy to make fun of because they're so huge. Kind of like Creed, another band that I really don't fucking mind.
Mm.
Really don't mind Creed. I mean, Mark Tremonti is a fucking really good guitar player. He doesn't play to his full ability in that band. You
Yeah,
know, if you listen to his solo shit and listen to Alter Bridge, it's like two different guys. But again, another band that's written some shit where I'm like, fuck, I like that song.
not me. I can't.
No, not at
Nah,
all. None of them.
I don't like that. Any vocals like that? Ugh,
Well, that's the thing with
Godsmack,
Scott. Yeah.
Pearl Jam. Ugh, I can't do it. That mumbly. I don't know. I can't.
They call
And
that yarling.
well, I don't like it.
Yeah. Now that is definitely Scott's thing from Creed, and that's definitely Eddie Vedder's thing from Pearl Jam. Chad from Nickelback does a little bit of that, but for the most part, he's a way more melodic singer than he gets credit for, in my opinion. You know, he's got some fucking harder vocals, and he's got some moments where his voice is very distinct, and you know, it sounds good when he's singing the ballads and stuff. He doesn't do a whole lot of I'm in here, mama, here. Yeah.
That's so much.
Now, what did you think of the flick?
Well, to be honest with you, I thought that it would be impossible for me to care less about a band. And I couldn't. Half hour into this movie, I just went, you know what? I don't give a shit. I can't do it.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
So you really just lost interest that quick?
Oh yeah. I found myself looking at other things in the room, and I'm like, wait, what happened? I could just
Oh wow.
didn't
You
care.
didn't even want to watch the come up story and fucking see them become superstars?
I mean, they were already had that popular song on Roadrunner by the time I went, all right, I can't anymore.
Okay, so you watched them come up at least.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's any band that gets fame probably worked really hard. It's hard to deny, like they
Right.
probably bust their ass. It's hard to, it's hard to deny that. Some bands just got lucky, but most of them busted their ass to get there, whether it was touring constantly or locking yourself in a room for years until you got good. You know, most of them, most popular musicians didn't just get lucky, even though it seems like they might have. You know,
That's very true. That's very true.
yeah.
Usually the story is, you know, struggle and all that stuff and, you know, sweating and fucking living hand to mouth and all that.
Or like we popped up overnight, but you didn't see the 10 years before that where I was in my bedroom for 16 hours a day playing straight, guitar nonstop.
Right.
You know,
Right. Which is pretty much what those guys were doing.
yeah.
Um, wow, so you didn't like the flick. Okay.
I just,
Um,
even like even some rock documentaries, even though I like the band, I'm like, eh. Some of them, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. There was nothing keeping me there for some. I just couldn't get. I just didn't care. I
yeah.
don't, I don't know, or
You have
maybe
no vested interest.
yeah, it wasn't. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. I just didn't care anymore. I was like, all right, I can't. I'm not even paying attention now. Like, yeah.
All right, fair enough. Um, I thought the movie was done really well.
I mean,
Thought it
I
was
people post about watching it too. So, you know, people watched it. There's some people watching it.
see, I didn't see anybody post about it. I was just going through Netflix. You know, Christine was like, "Oh, let's fucking, you know, find something on Netflix to watch." Okay, and I'm just flipping through shit. And I'm like, do I want to watch fucking Stranger Things for the 50th time? Nah. Do I want to watch fucking Love on the Spectrum again for the 100th time? No. Do I want to watch Down for Love again? Kinda, but no. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's a Nickelback movie? All right, I'm in. I haven't seen this yet. And I thought it was done. I watched it twice. I thought it was done really well. And it made me like the singer more. Because if you got further along in the flick than my co-host did, um, all the dudes in the band except for Chad turned into like, stay-at-home dads, or well, not stay-at-home dads, obviously, but like, turned into dads and fucking got rid of the partying lifestyle and all that shit. And they kind of like were like, we stopped hanging out with Chad on the side because like we'll all get in trouble if we fucking hang out with him. And he's like the fucking party animal. So he's the dude that hangs out and fucking gets loaded and winds up going home with fucking strippers and porn stars and shit. And he's kind of a boy after my own heart. So it made me like him a little more. What I didn't like about the movie that I wish they would have put in was, whether you want to hear it or not, metalheads. I know a lot of metalheads hate this fucking band. The guys in Pantera, specifically Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul, hung out with these dudes. They went and saw them live. They fucking hung out on the tour bus. They jammed with them. And that right there tells me that they got to be pretty fucking cool guys if Vinny and Dime are chilling with them.
Yeah,
You
man.
know? Did you listen to the 2 Dimebag related songs I sent you?
Yeah. I just I just don't care. I don't know. It's like Puddle of Mud too. It's the same thing. Like I just don't care. Goo
See,
Goo
I
Dolls.
mean, these guys are way better than Puddle of Mud.
Maybe. I don't know. I just
I mean, that's like 2 different fucking realms right there. Because Puddle of Mud is just kind of, that dude's a bit of a joke. But I don't know. I dig these guys. They got catchy shit. I like the so Dimebag jammed with them on their cover of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, which is an Elton John cover. If you get the deluxe edition of the album The Long Road, you got that on there.
a long load.
The Long Load, which yeah, they definitely draw a lot of influence from that era of Metallica.
Yeah, well,
And
they
then
they were a '90s band, right?
what's that?
They were a '90s band, right?
Yeah, the first. Well, I don't have the very first album, but their first big giant album is Silver Side Up. That's the one with How You Remind Me and Too Bad and Never Again. All those big hits are on this one. This one is from 2001.
Oh, okay.
So they've got 2 records before this. So they definitely go back to the tail end of the 90s. And then so after Dime was murdered, um, they put out an album called All the Right Reasons. And this is their biggest album. It's like, I think it's Diamond. I think it's sold 10 million copies. Um, Photograph is the big one off here, and Rockstar is a giant one. And there's a song on here called Side of a Bullet, which is about the night Dimebag was murdered, and Vinnie Paul gave them samples of 2 guitar solos that were written and recorded and were kind of like demo tracks from Far Beyond Driven and Vulgar Display of Power. So they took these two solo samples and kind of spliced them together and put them out on this song on this album, Side of a Bullet. And this entire record was dedicated to Dime. So that's one of the main reasons why this one was always on my radar too. But
Yeah.
I think it's a killer album, personally. I know. We're gonna get comments. I'm gonna get fucking. I'm gonna get dragged. I'm gonna get fucking dragged through the mud for this. And I don't really fucking give a shit. But everybody's gonna be like, dude, James ain't a fucking metalhead. He likes fucking Nickelback. He probably also likes to bend over and fucking clench his teeth in his pillow and get rammed in the. But anyways,
They're right.
they may be right, but listen, if you put this on
Not so bad.
while it's happening, I can deal with it. And if while there's being cum spread around, if you put this one on, I can deal with it. You fucking motherfuckers. Fine, I'm gay. I like Nickelback. Good.
It's okay.
Honestly, I don't like all their shit. There's albums after All the Right Reasons that I've tried to get into, and they start getting real poppy. They start losing a lot of their edge. Even though I know you what edge. There's edge to some of their shit.
I don't know enough to know. Yeah.
They start losing their edge a lot. They start kind of getting really poppy, and they lose me over time. But they have 3 albums I really dig. I thought the movie was done really well. I love watching a come up story. So I love seeing dudes go from fucking zero and turn into rock stars. So that was the main thing that made me want to watch it in the first place. I went back to it and watched it a second time.
Are they still like touring and stuff?
They just put a new album out last year.
Oh.
Yeah. There's one song on that new album that it almost got me to buy it. It was the lead single off it, and it's heavy. It's got like double bass drums in it and shit. I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. And then I went and listened to the full thing on YouTube, and I went, oh boy, I'm glad I didn't drop $16 on that.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it's just kind of, oh boy, it's really fucking laid back and kind of lame. Sorry, Chad. I still want to hang out with you and fucking get wasted and look at strippers, but yeah, just they had my attention for a little bit, and now they don't so much no more. But I respect them. Fuck it.
Well, yeah. I mean, anybody that stays popular for that amount of time is doing something right.
Yeah, they've got a massive fan base, dude. I don't know if you saw some of the scenes where like they're showing their crowds and stuff, and it's like a fucking sea of people. Like, god damn. And it's crazy because there's a lot of people that, at least online, hate Nickelback. Like, hate them.
I don't get. I couldn't know enough about a band I didn't like to hate them. Like I would immediately be like, whatever, I'm out. I would.
Yeah.
It's like
But they get like
can't get that
seething
involved.
hate.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like seething hate, like where
Hot
people are
pop?
like, "Oh, it's the worst thing that's ever existed." Oh, okay, to you, to me, I'm just hearing some fucking rock. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get that part. It's I don't know. There's no band that I could hate. It's just I wouldn't listen to them, and I wouldn't even think about them. Like,
Right? Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It's like whatever. That's not something I'm into. Fuck those guys. I'm just not gonna buy it.
I think a lot of the late '90s, early 2000s stuff, I just don't care about, so I don't listen to it.
You're just indifferent to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause, I mean, that was the time of the guitar's not cool anymore.
Right.
you know. So I
That's
was
very true.
I was getting more and more into 80s and death metal.
Yeah.
That death metal was still there was new death metal bands coming out and they were still doing stuff more underground, I guess. There wasn't a lot of like a lot of the shows I was going to in the late 90s, early 2000s was hardcore. There really wasn't metal.
Right.
You know, like it was that's when I started gigging. And there's so many times we played a show and people would go, "Holy shit, they're doing guitar solos."
Yeah.
And that was weird to them, you know. But for us, it's what we wanted to play, you know.
Yeah. Well,
So
your main big metal bands at that point was like Pantera, who
Slayer,
were still playing leads,
Death,
Slayer, who were still playing leads,
Death was a big one for me.
Death,
Uh,
fucking Black
Metallica, Megadeth, King Diamond.
yeah,
Yeah,
Black Label Society, who was all about the guitar solos.
yeah, I was never that into them, but they did fill that box.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean the older bands were still doing it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Even though BLS was newer, but still they
but
were keeping guitar solos alive.
there wasn't a lot of new bands coming out. It was all grunge or
Right.
hardcore if you were underground listening to heavier music. You know, occasionally you'd catch Cannibal Corpse coming through. You know,
Yeah.
and even those solos aren't. There's not a ton of them, and they're not crazy. You know,
Right. Yeah.
but it was it was metal. Like I rarely saw metal bands in the late '90s, and they started popping up again. I don't know, 2004. You started getting a couple here and there. There wasn't a lot of them doing solos and stuff, but they would be a lot more melodic. They were getting into being melodic again.
Right.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of that too, like you said, 2003, 4, 5. You got bands like Unearth showing up. And that's their whole thing is leads and harmonies and all that shit.
we had
Lamb of God,
Children of Bodom got when they were probably around then. They started,
Bone too.
yeah, and
Nevermore.
was Trivium around then too, early
Yeah.
2000s. So
Yep.
you started getting guys that were probably a little bit younger than me, but just enough younger than to listen to the same stuff I did,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and it influenced them also.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
so they were just where a lot of their peers were probably not listening to that stuff anymore, you know.
Yeah, they were probably listening to things like Coal Chamber and Slipknot and Mushroom Head and bands that weren't really playing leads anymore. And I feel like that new school of kids that came up, the Trivium and Unearth and Bullet for My Valentine and bands like that, Dimebag was always in Guitar World saying, like, yeah, me and Zach are the only guys that fucking play guitar solos anymore. Like, all these new kids hate playing leads, and Dime, like, harassed the guys in Slipknot one night when they were on Ozfest together. He's like, yo, why don't you guys are fucking badass. Like, you got great riffs. Why don't you play fucking leads? And Dime gifted a fucking wah pedal to Jim Root, and he's still got Jim Root still has it. He hasn't actually opened it since fucking Dimebag was murdered. He's like,
Mm.
I can't get myself to fucking take it out of the package. But then after, talking with Dime, Slipknot started having a little leads in their music. Not a lot. They're not fucking Eddie Van Halen or nothing, but they started putting some fucking leads in their tunes.
Yeah,
It starts coming back. It's like anything else. It starts full circling.
yeah. Hopefully now, like drummers started getting crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, now that's the thing, is fucking drummers being absolutely out of their fucking minds.
It's good.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's totally great. Fucking love it. So what do you guys think of the Nickelback movie? Are you on Mario's side? Do you think it's just kind of meh? Are you indifferent? Do you think I'm a fucking complete and utter sissy? I still want to read the comments if you do think that. Are you on my side? Do you think, like, yeah, James might have a fucking point? Maybe these guys have a few fucking decent tracks. If the guys in Pantera liked them, they have to be fucking right, 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 right.
Yes.
Yes. Right. God. I was thinking about something Family Guy related before, and I wanted to bring it up, and fuck, my 44-year-old brain. God damn it. Oh, I was rewatching the Mary Toth episode last night of the broad who fucking stuffed her box full of live bunnies. And I was thinking, there was a part where I was like, they said they found corn in one of the bunny's stomachs. And the part where I said, like, did she leave a trail of corn leading up to her fucking pussy?
Oh, you saw that? You saw that James Woods episode?
And I was thinking about a piece of candy. Ooh, 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 a piece of candy. She just grabs that thing and just shoves it in there. Where am I? Why does it smell like tuna casserole in here? I was having a delicious corn snack. Oh, a piece of corn. Oh, a piece of corn. Oh, a piece of corn. Oh, I love that show.
Me too.
All right, you jerks.
Yeah.
Watch the movie, and then watch this, and then watch this again. And then
maybe,
tell all your friends to watch this, and then go watch the movie, and then watch this again. And then tell your friends to watch this, then to go watch the movie, then to watch this again, and subscribe, and hit the like button, and then watch this again.
Yeah, maybe this will make you watch the movie.
Right. So then watch this, then watch the movie, and then come back and watch this again. And then watch the movie and watch this again.
And don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. You jerks. Two metalheads.